ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। ब्रह्मैवाहमिदं जगच्च सकलं चिन्मात्रविस्तारिदं इत्थं यस्य दृढामदि स्थिरतरे नित्ये परे निर्मले चाण्डालोऽस्तु सदुद्विजोऽस्तु गुरुरित्येषा मनीषा मम शश्वन्नश्वरमेव विश्वमखिलं निश्चित्य वाचा गुरोः नित्यं ब्रह्म निरन्तरं विमर्शदां निर्व्याजशान्तात्मना इत्थं यस्य भूतं भावि च दुष्कृतं प्रदहदे संविन्मये पावके प्रारब्धाय समर्पितं स्ववपुरित्येषा मनीषा मम। The Manisha Panchakam, in the first, in the 5 verses, it condenses the whole Mandukya. The 3 states of consciousness. Who is there? I alone am there. And who am I? I am the Turya. And what are the other 3 states? They are all Apara Brahma. They are all conditioned Brahma. They are not Brahma, we are not saying. But they are Jadavastus illumined or enlivened by the Atman, the self. Hence, Brahman is there. Brahman Upahita Chaitanya, which is conditioned by the Upadhi Upahita Chaitanya. Upadhi. Sopadhiga Brahma. There are 2 other words we use always, Sopadhiga and Nirubadhiga. Brahman by itself is called Nirubadhiga. No Upadhi there. But when it is conditioned by an Upadhi, it is called Sopadhiga Brahman. So what is now this Vaikar, the Jiva, and the dreamer and all are Nirubadhiga Brahma. We are not saying it is not Brahman. It is not Asat. It is Sat only, but conditioned by Avachinnam, by the instruments. Like the electricity is now conditioned by that bulb. So you get light. Electricity conditioned by the cooler. Then you get coolness only. Conditioned by a heater, same electricity becomes heat, becomes cold. So what is electricity? Heat, hot or cold? Neither hot nor cold. So simple the example is. That is being said in this Vaidatya. Actually you have understood Vaidatya Prakarana well now. After how many readings? Gurudev told you, I told you, then the book told you. So now little light has come. Is it not? Don't say, I don't know. Oh, so tough. Nothing is tough. Only focus your attention. Now continuing. What is it we have to do now? What? Vaidathyam. Jivam kalpayade purvaha. 18th verse we will chant. Nishchidayam yadharajvam vikalpo vinivartade rejjure vedi chadvaidam tadvadatma vinishchayah Now he says, these vikalpas. Vikalpa means, the best English word for that is misconception. Vikalpam means what? Misconception. What is the misconception? Nishchidayam yatha rajvam. Once I have understood the Rajju jnanam, immediately destroys the sarpa brahmam. Rajju jnanam will destroy the sarpa brahmam. Atma jnanam will destroy the jagat brahmam. Jagat is a brahmam, is a mithya. You understand the same? And nishchidayam yatha rajva vikalpo vinivartade. These misconceptions come to an end. Rajju revedi. This is Rajju alone and nothing but Rajju. Nothing but the rope. Not a, what do you call the sarpa? Not a garland, not a bhuchidra, not anything. Nothing else. It is Rajju eva. Rajju eva? Rajju alone is all there. This what I have seen. Rajju revedi. That is called Advaita. There is no second. Rajju, partially when you looked it became a snake. No. Not possible. For 2 minutes it was snake. The rest of the minutes it is Rajju. We can't say like that. No, for 3 minutes I saw only the tail of the snake. And the rest was rope. Does it happen like that? Oh, it says Advaitam. It is one without a second by the study. And how do we come to this? Nishchidajnanam, the determined knowledge. You come to that. What is that knowledge? Alpmaivedam sarvam. All this is nothing but Atman. Only difference is some are conditioned by some upadhis. Some are, Atman is not conditioned by any upadhi, nirubadhika Brahma and sobadhika Brahma, Atmagam Jagat. All this Sarvaiveda, Alpmaivedam Sarvam is the understanding, the knowledge, the Atmajnanam. How do you arrive at it? By the study of the Shastras, and their mananam and the sadhanas enjoined by them. All of them gives you this understanding, Sarvam Edat Brahman. Atmaivedam Sarvam Kartrutva Bhoktruttvadi Sarva Samsara Rahidam. What is this world? Kartrutva Bhoktruttvadi Rahida Prapancham. Sarva Samsara Rahidam is this world. That means without any ego. Kartrutva Bhoktrutva is not there means I am not an ego. I am not a jiva also. Then what am I? I am only that Brahman. And what about this jiva bhava that you are experiencing in the vyavaharika state? That jiva also is nothing but Brahman. Atma Brahma Aikyam. Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam is the truth. Sarvam Edat Brahman. Thus we understand by the, and what is mithya? You must know that definition correctly. To use the word mithya in our arguments, you have to use the word. What is that? A relative reality which is dismissed in the wake of knowledge. What is mithya? Which appears sokale satyavat bhadi prabodhe satya asat bhaved. When I wake up to my reality, this what I thought was real becomes unreal, and what I thought was unreal becomes real. What was unreal now for you? Brahman is unreal. And what is real? World is real. When you understand, what will happen? What I thought real, the world that I thought real is unreal. what I thought is unreal, whether Brahman is there or not, who knows? Don't we say? Only book says, but nobody has seen him, nobody has touched him, nobody has licked him. So how do I know it is there? My Pancha Indriyas cannot cognize him. So, irka illiya? Purvavashi asks this question all the time. Is it there? Maham Brahma Nirakaro. Mama Brahma Nirakaro. Nirakaranam Nammeya. Nirakaranam Nasti. Let me not have that Nirakaranam. Let Brahman not deny me and let me not deny Brahman. That's the first step. At least you take it as a hypothesis until you realize. The teacher has given you, the Shastra has given you a hypothesis that there is something called Brahman. Don't, at the first step only, don't say, I don't know whether there is Brahman or not. Maham na nirakarod. Nirakaranam me astu. So, like that, he says here, Mithya is a relative reality which is dismissed in the wake of knowledge. Sokale Satyavat Bhavi. It is true in the case of the snake example also. As long as I was seeing that snake was a reality. And the moment the knowledge took place and I brought the Guru came and he said, wait. There is no snake there, I will show you. And he put the torch for you. And what is there? Only a rope. In the wake of knowledge. Who brings the knowledge? Teacher. Is it clear now? So that vikalpa rajjudevericha advaidam Tadvad Atma Vinishchayaha. And what is the result? I am sure that there is only Brahman here. Everywhere is only Brahman. Every object in this world is Satchidananda plus Namarupa. Every object. How do you know every object is Satchidananda? Okay, Namarupa we understand. This rock. It exists. It is Sat. Chit and Ananda, it may not be able to because it doesn't have any upadhi to express. That is all. Not that it is not there. There also, what is there? Existence surely there. Then, to express consciousness and Ananda, you must have a mind, intellect. The rock doesn't have a mind and intellect. So from that standpoint, you cannot prove it. But since Sat is there, and we have already proved Sat is Chit, Chit is Ananda, so that also is Satchidananda. Plus rock, Namarupa. You understand? Every object. This is from Drishya Viveka. Satchidananda plus Namarupa, 5 components are there in every experience, and if you are seeing only the Satchidananda, Atmagam Vastu, then it is Brahman. But if you are seeing only Namarupas, you are a samsari. You understand? Suppose you are seeing only that person is Mr. So-and-so. You are seeing only Namarupas. And Namarupaatmakam Jagat is Mithya. Satchidanandatmakam Brahma Vastu in the world is the reality. So now we have come to another conclusion that nothing is Mithya. It's Mithya is covering your vision of the Brahmatmagatvam of the world. Sarvatmagatvam of the Vishwam is covered by your ignorance. Is it clear? Okay, it should be clear. And if it is not clear, sorry for you. I have no more time. Now, Pran and here in this book, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya is what the thought of the Vedantins throughout. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. If you are seeing only Nama Rupa, it is Mithya. If you are seeing the Brahman in all the objects of the world, then you are contemplating on your own true nature. That we have seen. Then question will come, if Jagat is Mithya, then you are also Mithya. The fellow who is telling that also is Mithya, because I am also Jagat. The people who are doing the Vishakalanam of all these things, he is also a part of the Jagat. Now you always think you are standing separate from the BMI, PFT, OET and watching as though you are one great person. That is what Einstein said, without the observer, observer is there. His theory itself is called a theory of relativity. You see, great scientists are calling the experiences of the world as a relative reality, which only Vedanta has said thousands and thousands of years ago without a laboratory. And he says, and then you are Mithya. The teacher who is giving you Upadesha is Mithya. And the Upadesham also is Mithya. The person who is giving the Upadesham is Mithya. And the Upadesham itself is Mithya. Because only in duality you can give advice. Otherwise you have to sit like Ramana Maharshi. That's all. Who is Brahman? Every time you try to describe Brahman, you yourself are finding it difficult, is it not? It's so kadhinam for the mind. Kadhinam. It tires your intellect. More is it. And the Upanishad doesn't make it any easy. Farther than the farthest. Oh, understood. This place called Vaikunta, Kailasa and all are very, very far. Even here Kailasa is far. Then the next moment the teacher says, nearer than the nearest. What does it mean? It's everywhere. Instead of saying everywhere, look at the beautiful way the Upanishad says it. If it is farther than the farthest, it is also nearer than the nearest. Nearer than the nearest to you is you only. This contradictory language for explaining that which is inexplicable is very, very unique to the Upanishads. Positively you cannot explain it. Anirvajaniya Brahman. Positively you cannot. You cannot say it exists not, you can't say. Sadasad bhinnaha. Is it existing? In other words, it doesn't come under any Visheshanam. Visheshanam, adjective. No adjectives are applicable there. So we will say Anirvajaniyam. We don't know how to explain it. So in this ways of contradiction or nedi divakyena. Whoever is, finally you reach the person who is doing negation, and who is doing all this negation? The negator, he also must go. Then what remains is Brahman. Okay? Understood? That is how it is. See, I have told you this story so many times in the class because it's a very nice story. That a student used to go to tell Zen master, And every day, Zen masters never teach like this. You have to understand by your brain only. Covens, they say covens. Something they will say, from that you must know the truth. Other than that, they don't teach like we do. They make you intuit always. So the student was, as usually, doing Guru Seva Pavam. He was bringing the newspaper and the coffee and the flask. Coffee, the flask and coffee, newspaper for the teacher. As he reached nearby, the Guru was sitting and watching him, and he wanted to sort of give Upadesham to him. He said, drop it. The student was, what to drop? He is asking me. He dropped the newspaper. Then the Guru raised his voice and said, drop it. What is he asking me to drop? He dropped the flask. And the teacher roared out, drop it! The one who dropped the newspaper and that individuality you drop. And it is said the student realized immediately. This story is there in the Zen Buddhists. What we are trying to do is, all sadhanas are done by whom? By me, the great, the great ego. Until and unless somebody asked Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa the same question, when will I realize? So he said, when the I goes. When will I realize? When the I go, then you will realize. Actually speaking, you will say every sadhana is easy, but this sadhana is not easy. You cannot drop that ego. That is where you get caught up. That is where you need the help of the Lord. You cannot try as you might. The more you try, the more strong becomes the ego. So he says, everything is midya. And he says, when the end of that thought process comes, you will be in samadhi. You are not there. What you are thinking about is also not there. The experiencer is not there. Experienced is not there. Experiencing also is not there. That is called samadhi. And when you get into samadhi, I, you, the world, everything, these thoughts come to an end. Asmad yushmat pratyaya agojat. It cannot be seen by asmad yushmat pratyaya also. And that is called, then if there is nothing, what else you can talk about? I am not there, you are not there, and world is not there. Then what can you talk about? Vrtandam means no talk. Not talk about anything. You become silent. Why Ramana Maharshi? He sat in silence for 11 years in that guha. How he survived, we don't know. When the Lord wants somebody's life for his own purpose, he will survive. Even the greatest, Tapovan Maharaj, a great saint he was, he went to Manasarovar on bare feet. Can you imagine that? You who have gone know how difficult it would have been. Bare feet and one kambli. And that kambli also in between rain will come and it will be fully wet. You can imagine what is that ice rain. And he went and he had fever. For miles and miles there will be not even one house or hut or anything. Sometimes he spent his time in the Goshta. Goshta means in the cow sheds. You must read Kailas Yatra. I have translated it for people like you. Because it was in Malayalam. And when you read that, you really wonder the ability, human possibilities are many. And he reached and he came back. Though he was offered that he will be taken in the train, all the Rajas in that place said, Maharaj, come, we will take you in the train. No, this is sadhana. And he went, and he had no food, no water. In one place, you feel like crying when you read that in one place he had only that Sattumava. Sattumava, that is some Godamba and all they make into one. Those people who go mountaineering. That is one type of a food. And what they do is, wherever they see water, they eat it and pour water. And that is food. But on the top ranges of the Himalayas, there is no water also. So what do? And he had written in the Kailas Yatra that I put the Satamav in my mouth and then with my saliva I made it wet. What madmas all these are. And then when he finishes the yatra and came back to Rishikesh, walking only, everywhere. It took so many months for him to come. And he said, when he reached there, I do not know what purpose God has for this body. I should have died by all natural laws. Long ago. Is it not? Why? For what purpose God has preserved this body, only He knows. We know now, because He had to give us Chinmaya. Why He had preserved him is, because He had to give. And He seems to have said, take all my books and put it in the attic. I don't need any book anymore. So he told Govindagiri, who was attending on him. And he was about to put it in the attic, tie it and put it. Even now you can see in the Uttarakashi, in the attic, there are so many old books. And when he was about to put it, he said, no, don't put it. You keep it where it is. I have one more student to teach. Atmas are sarvajñas always. I have one more student to teach. Don't take away the books now. And that one more student was Swami Chinmayananda. Understand? So, if your body is useful to the society or for the plan of the Lord, it will survive any type of difficulty. When we hear these stories and all, how small we feel. We are thinking, I know so much. You know nothing. That is the truth. Okay. Now he says, what Vrtandam is there to talk about? The world is not there. That's also Midya. I am also Midya. The Upadesha also is Midya. Guru also. What is that? Na Guru, na Shishya. The Nirvana Shatkam, which says, I am Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivo. What am I? And Chidananda Rupa. What am I? Shiva Kevaloyam. In the Dashashloki, Shiva Kevaloyam. Kevalam Shiva. Not Shiva with any upadhi. Nirvadiga Brahma. I am. Now what is the problem in thinking like that? Instead of thinking I am a useless fellow, I am always miserable. Instead of that, why don't you think I am all powerful, all knowing, I am Brahman? Why not you think? At least think big. Don't think small. That is another mithya. It's not true. Don't think like that. Okay, now that we reach the end of our even thinking. And when a thinking has entered by itself, because there's nothing to think about, I am also not there, you are also not there, the world is also not there. What is there to think about then? That end of all thoughts is called samadhi, where the meditator has merged into the meditated. It's called a moment of meditation just takes place like that. There's total blankness, total peace in that end. When everything has entered there, that is how a prajna feels happiness, because everything has entered. There is no division. Only difference between prajna and a samadhi state person is that he is conscious of that bliss. Prajna is not conscious of the bliss at all, because it is a negative type of happiness, not a positive. Now from the 19th verse he says, Pranadibhiranandaischa bhavairadairvikalpidaha Mayaisha tasya devasya yaya sammohida swayam. You are keeping on saying that Atman is Ekaha and Advayaha. Ekaha. How can there be so many bhavas, like we call him prana, we call him jiva, we call him etc., etc., etc. So many things we call him. Various bhavas, ananda bhavas are there. For that Eka Atma, for that one, there are many manifestations, let us say. Bhavas are there, objects are there, and feelings are there. Feelings are also not one or two. Ananta Kodi are our thoughts. Ananta Kodi Vishayas are there in the world. You understand? So, how can there be so many bhavas like the prana, jiva, etc.? So, what is the answer he gives? Tasya devasya maya. That is called maya. The one appears as many. So, when you see the one as many, it is called the vibhuti of the Lord in the 10th chapter of the Gita. And when you see the many as one, that is called yoga. Vibhuti and yoga is described in the 7th chapter, I think. That is my vibhuti. If you are seeing many things, many bhavas, that is my vibhuti. If you are seeing the oneness in all, the golden thread, mayevas, what is that word? Matat paradaram nanyat kinjidasti dhananjaya mayi sarvamidam prodam sutre manigana iva. That sutra and all, now we in our book it is all so many thousands of years written string theory. Now they are called string theory. This species, they have found out wave, particle, that, this, now the latest is string. We say, Pada, we know it long ago. Because in our Gita it is said, the sutra, manigana, sutra theory is there long. So what is it I am seeing? I am seeing that golden thread that goes through all these bhavas. Then I am a jnani. Those of you who see only the objects hanging from that golden thread, they are samsaris. And not only they see it, they become attached to one or two of them. Is it not? You are looking at that beautiful tree with thousands of leaves. The entirety of the tree is lost to you if you concentrate yourself only on one little branch and 5 or 6 leaves. Then the total beauty is gone. Similarly, we, the samsaris, become attached to small things here and there. That is all. And then you miss everything. The totality is missed. Everything, every body in this world, not only human body, even the animals and birds and everything are, somebody read this. Some artist read this. So he made new necklaces for this. There are some people who collect only costume jewelry. They don't want gold and all. Only costume. And one of the costume jewelry was, there is a golden thread, and in that all types of things are hanging. One chili, one little pumpkin. What all things, very interesting it is to see. And they will hang it around their neck and go around. No, that was not the idea of this verse. The idea of the verse is to tell you that the Lord permeates this world. Maya tadamidam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina. I am permeating this entire universe in the avyakta form. So you must be thinking now, Mandukya is also over. So nothing more to study. We have become yogis and jnanis. No, now you start from Tattvabodha. That is all you can do. Go back home and start Tattvabodha, okay? So much is your knowledge. That is all. Our teacher used to say, now we have studied Mandukya, all our studies are over. This study never gets over. Till the last day of your life, you have to go on studying. That is all I can tell you. In fact, I am studying more now because I know end is coming. So I keep on studying. And don't think it is a waste of time. It's not a waste of time, because there is carryover system there. Whatever you have studied is carried over. So don't think it is a waste of time. A humorous mood today. I don't know why. Because no pain anywhere. That is why. No pain state. Tasya devasya maya is the answer. In the pure Atman, all the vikalpas are made to appear by the maya like a magician. How is it possible? Because like a magician makes that empty, beautiful sky to bear, to have so many trees in it, and from the trees lot of fruits are hanging. It's a magician's. I don't know how the magician do it. If you don't know how a magician does it, how do you know that great magician, how he is making this world? The ordinary magician, the third-rate magician, also you can't make out. He keeps one fowl inside a basket and shows another basket and does some trick. And this basket, this comes out and starts ko. And you are simply surprised. Is it not? Entertainment. And what is this, what we are seeing? Entertainment. Tasya devasya. He is the magician. Maya, pure. Magicians make the pure Akasha appear as though there are trees, etc., flowers and leaves. Mama Maya, Duratteya. And if that magicians are also you can admire, what should you do to this magician who can do anything in the world? The whole world can be rolled up into a carpet and so says Shvedara Upanishad. And kept under your armpit. Only such a person who realizes the greatness of this, what we are seeing, only when Maya gives way can we see the truth as it is. Here, Bhagavan Paramahamsa says, Maya Devi should give us the way. She is standing in the way, so that I never know the truth. Between the truth and you, Maya is standing. That is how Maya worshipping started. Unless Maya is pleased, she will not allow you to go further. Maya has to be, cannot be conquered. Maya has to be placated by devotion. Then she allows you a wee peep beyond Maya. What's happening now? So, having said that, he says, all these are due to pranadibhi and mama maya duratya, Bhagavan says in the Gita, and when you come under the control of the Maya, you forget your own self. That is called self-forgetfulness. Atma Vismaranam. Atma Vismaranam takes place. I have forgotten my true nature and then I suffer. Gurudev gives hundreds of stories for that. The prince who was stolen by the gypsies and had been brought up as a gypsy. And finally the king died and the ministers found out the boy in the gypsy camp. I told him, you are not a gypsy, you are the prince. But he says, what you are talking unnecessarily? I am a gypsy. And this is my father, this is my mother. He will not accept that he is a prince. It took him many, many years to accept that he is a prince. And don't laugh at him, poor fellow. You are also doing the same thing. Yeah, we are telling you, you are Atman, the self, Sarvajnaha, Sarva Shaktiman, Sarva Buddhiman Atma. But are you accepting it? Because you are brought up in a gypsy camp only of samsara. I won't accept. For that beautiful story is there about Indra. Indra was cursed to become a pig. Because sometimes he does piggy things, Indra is famous for that. So anyway, he was cursed by a great rishi that you become a pig. And then, when the time for mochana comes, you will come back. So he became a pig and he was very happy as a pig. He was in one dirty, what do you say, pigs, where do they stay, In the slum waters or whatever, dirty water. In that he was, and he married. Mrs. So was there. And pigs have only one job. What is reproduction? Nothing else they know. So he had so many children and he was happy. The time of Shapa Mochanam has come. Indra is not coming back. Indra is very happy there. So he's not coming back at all. Devas got very, very perturbed. What is this? Our Maharaja is in that dirty waters, is rolling around there. So they went one day to remind him, your Shapa has come to an end. You please come back to Devaloka. They went and told him. He got so angry. Where you want me to come? I am very happy here. I am more than in heaven this is. What are you talking? I am not coming. They pleaded with him, nothing doing. Yes. Then they went to Vishnu Bhagavan and said, what to do with this man? He has forgotten. Atma Vismaranam has taken place. Who he is, he has forgotten. We are all like that Indra. We are all like that Indra. Atma Vismaranam is there. And the Vishnu came and he took his chakra, killed the Mrs. So, killed all the children, all the piglings. And he became sorrowful, samsari. Then only he realized who he is. Should you wait for that to know the truth? Not necessary. From the story you understand. All this samsara is to give me lot of sorrow. Some people come to me and say, no, I am sorrowful. What did I say? With tongue, cheek, and what do you call tongue in the cheek, I feel like telling, it's good. Sorrow is making you awake to your own smarana. That who you are. I feel like telling him. But if I tell, that will say, that Swamini is very arrogant. They will say, no, don't. Just keep quiet. No, pray to the Lord, do japa, do that, do this. But all that won't work. Then what will work? I know myself to be the Atman, the self, Satchit, Ananda Sarupa. The day you know it, all your sorrows have Prapancha Upasham. If you remember all these stories, you'll never forget who you are. So because of that, Paramatma Vismaranam, it has taken place because of this Maya. And here Sri Ramakrishna says, if Mahamaya gives us just moves away from that path, I can have Ishvara Darshanam. If she doesn't, then I can't have. So what should you do? You pray to the Lord. His Maya, he only can control, nobody else. Not you. Don't think you are capable of crossing over Maya. Maya has tremendous power. Nobody can cross over Maya. So, understand the truth of these words, and like that you live in this world. Now there are 9 verses, 19 to 28, which Shankarana thought, is not worth writing the commentary. Why? Because they are all vikalpas of various types of people. The creation theories. So he just went. I can also go like that. Prana iti prana vido. Bhudani iti cha tadvidaha. Guna iti gunavidaha. Gunavidaha. Tattvani iti cha tadvidaha. So, the people, pranan here means total prana. Hiranyagarbha is a 28 to confusions of the other philosophers. Shankaracharya thought it is not worth commenting on it. So, he just overlooked it and went to the 28th verse. Shankara does not write any commentary on these 9 verses as they are the confusion of other people. So, that is what it is written in that book. Confused as an God is, but Anandagiri writes a commentary on these verses. Anandagiri is the Tikakara. So, whenever Shankara has not written anything about some verse, then they refer to Anandagiri. Actually, in the Himalayas and all, the whole study is done with Anandagiri Tika with the Bhashya. And Anandagiri writes about, and he commentary on them. In other words, he says, here God is not to be confused as an object. That is prana. that is Ishvara. Like that and all the pranadi bhavas. Prana idi pranavidaha. Ishvara is indicated, or Hiranyagarbha is indicated. They say Ishvara is the karana for the Jagat. Prana idi pranavidaha. What is the karana for the Jagat? They are describing prana adi bhava. Prana is the karana, and prana is here Hiranyagarbha or Tatastha Lakshana Suchita Ishvara. Ishvara is who is saying this? Hiranyagarbha Upasakas. Hiranyagarbha Upasaka says Hiranyagarbha is to be worshipped. That is all. He is total mind. After that, nothing is there. Hiranyagarbha, where did he come from? That all you shouldn't ask. If you ask that type of questions, head will break. You understand? So the Hiranyagarbha Upasakar are convinced that the firstborn, Hiranyagarbha is supposed to be the firstborn. Before that, everything is unborn. Avyakta is unborn, Brahman is unborn. Ishvara? Ishvara is unborn or born? It depends on what your understanding of Ishvara is. Maya Sahida Ishvara? Paramatma himself has become Ishvara. By taking Maya for his help, he has become Ishvara. You see, to do anything, to create anything, you must have an Upadhi. That is what Maya is. Mayobadhi. Paramatma's Mayobadhi is Ishvara. And he wants to create, and he became Mayobadhi Sahida Ishvara. So, like that, some people say, Pranavido, Bhudani iti tadvidaha. And some people say, Prithvi, Jalam, Agni, Vayu. Who is saying this? Nastigas. The Nastigas who do not believe in any God and all that. He says, how did this world come? All the Anus joined together and became the world. Does it happen? We have denied all this in the other Upanishads. See, for example, you keep the steel, you keep the, the cement, the sand, etc., etc. Do they join together in the night by some magic and become a building? They are only upadana karanam, the material cause. But there should be an intelligent cause. There should be a nimitta karanam, there should be a, instrumental cause. So many things are required for a building to come up. You mean to say the world just came up? Because the Pancha Mahabhutas are there. So it became a world one fine morning. Who says so? Sankhya's. Sankhya's are the believers of Anu theory, Paramanu theory, numberless theories. It became like that. Jagat Karanam, like that. Nastiganma, even the Buddhists say like that. There is no God or anything. Nastikas say only these Pancha Mahabhutas by themselves have become the world. Even now the scientists are Astikas only sometimes. Afterwards they become Astikas. When they are against some difficult proposition, then they become Astikas. Otherwise, they say no. They Anu. Now we find out what is inside that Anu, we will know the secret of the earth. And they found out what is inside the Anu, and they happily made the atom bomb with that. Not only they did not find out the block of the world, but they also found out a a very terrible method of destruction. If you read that Nagasaki and Hiroshima tragedy, where have we ended with our knowledge? It's unbelievable, the tragedy. Even now it is. So science has got two aspects. It can give you comfort, it can give you moksha. It's immediate moksha. Unborn children are affected by cancer, by that. Unborn children. So you can imagine the tragedy that has struck Japan. And why it is in Japan? Because they don't want to test it in their own places. How cunning. They didn't want to. Whoever has made that bomb, they should have burst it in their country first. Don't you think? Dharma says so. Whoever has invented such a hideous thing, they should have tested it in their land, not in some poor. Japan has only so much land. Always you see how selfish people could be. And after that they want every country to write this thing that we will not go in, what is it? Atom bombs we will not do. Only we can make, not you. No. Sometimes I feel like putting them all in the Pacific Ocean. They put all the wheat and all. We should put them only. For the peace of the world. We never had all these problems before. India never felt it necessary to go out of its borders anywhere. For anything. Anyway, you was talking about all that. Then there are others, Shaivas, who say, Sankhya say, the Sattva Tamo Gunam, from this only Jagat has come. Gunavidaha, Tattvani Idicha Tadvidaha, there is Shaiva Chintakas. There was in Kashmir, there was a whole group of people called Kashmir Shaivism. And they said that all this world has come out of the three tattvas, Avidya, Atma, Avidya, Shiva. Shiva tattva. Atma, Avidya, Shiva. These from these three tattvas. Tattvavidaha, Tattvavit. They are saying, in other words, there are as many theories, as many people in this world. The interpretations are many. My teacher told us, first when you are studying Vedanta here in Chinmaya Mission, we are what do you call? Shankara Pacha. We are going by the Shankara's Advaita. So, while you are here, you don't read any other interpretation. You can read afterwards. But here our idea is to make you strong in Shankara Bhashya. Because that is not that he is partial or anything, but he says unless you have got fully established in one branch of knowledge, you cannot even do the Vishagalanam of the other state. So you read that, tell this, and suddenly you said, I will read what Madhvas say. Okay, you said. What Ramanuja says. Everybody, and there will be one, what do you call, kichadi in your mind. It's not. That don't do. And world has accepted Shankara's Bhashya. So we will only, Amma, you don't read any interpretation. You can also make your own interpretation at that rate. That is why there are thousands of theories like this, which are all interpretation of the various sets of thinkers. And Shankara and Gaudapada least interest in their interpretations. You must Shruti Matam, it should be. It should go by the traditional knowledge. Otherwise it is not valid. Pada idi pada vido. Vishaya idi tadvidaha. Loka idi lokavidaha. Deva idi cha tadvidaha. So there are people who says that 4 padas are Vishwa Taijasa Prajna Turya. These are the reasons for the world. This Padavid, they study the padas so deeply and then they come to the conclusion these padas are responsible for the creation of the world. It has become the waking world, it has become the dream world, it has become the deep sleep world, and it has become like that. They say it doesn't stand to reason. Why are you thinking like that? The answers are always foolish answers. You understand? And also there are padavits. There are vishayas are the jagat, the components of the jagat. There are some rishis called Vatsyayana, etc., who say so. And there are Vishayaha, Lokaha, idi Lokavidaha. And there are others who say Bhuvarloga, Swarloga, Bhuloga. These are what the Pauranikas say. We don't have to know anything about it. You don't have to study these verses even. Okay? It's only vikalpas of so many thinkers. And they are not worth our attention. That is not the truth. We know even by reading it only we know it is not the truth. Agni, Indra, those devas, they are there is a book called Devata Kandam. Devata. So all the devatas like Agni, Varuna, Maruts and that and this, they have created this world. What is their authenticity we don't know. So, and they say there is no Ishvara and all, only Devatas. There is no Ishvara at all. Pauranika says Ishvara, we say no Ishvara, nothing, only Devatas. Veda idi Veda Vido. Then next, Veda idi Veda Vido. Idi? Time is up. No, there is nothing to finish here, to read, that's all. Let it be there. What I am trying to say, what Shankara has told us is 28, 28 verses are not worth, don't take it for discussion also. It is only the vikalpas of various minds, of various thinkers. Okay? And their arguments, we are not getting into that argument because we don't contribute to any of them. Hence, we don't have to say what they are saying and what Siddhanti is saying. Siddhanti just ignored them. Why is it ignored? Not worth. It's not going to add one iota of knowledge to your existing knowledge. That is. They will add to your confusion. Hence, we don't want to argue. But if we just read it and go to the 28, 30, with 38 verses, the Vaidadhya Prakaranam will be over. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachate Purnasya Purnamadahaya Purnameva Shanti Shanti Shanti.